Well, good morning. It's Wake Up Wednesday, 2nd of January. Happy New Year. Just a day into 2019. And I thought before we leave 2018, well, we have left it, but just to recognise a few things that were very important. It's a beautiful morning. This is looking down the little stream, little river where I have the joy of living. I was just out this morning doing my little meditation over there, my little Zen zone, looking down the river. Just that sound of music, of water running, is such a musical accompaniment, but it's beautiful. But I wanted to sort of do a little Facebook potty. And in some cases, and we've had Spotty, so Sports Personality of the Year. The Facebook potty is for people who are somewhat potty, but are personalities of the year for me for last year. And I want to recognise them because I think we all need a bit of recognition for efforts made and things that people have done. And light-hearted, just with a light touch, but I just want to mention a few people. So firstly, for leadership. Something I'm very passionate about, care about. And there are three people I want to mention who really, for their passion, for their commitment, for their resilience in tough circumstances and going through some tough things, come through fantastically. And they are Anne Lim, a beautiful, inspirational lady, Rob P, and Kirsty Donnelly. Fantastic people, and I recognise them for a sort of long-term contributions, and have come out this year, done some great things. And I want to just talk about Norman Minty, who has run the Wyvern Club in Devizes for a number of years, having left the army and wanted to give something back, and has kept that commitment there, spending a number of hours there, none of it paid, but doing an amazing job to keep that community spirit going, and also has been very helpful and fantastic for the regiment, for the Duke of Edinburgh's Royal Regiment, for our annual general meetings, for the association, but also for the Dur at 60 commemoration for next year. We've run a number of our meetings there over the last year. So that's firstly to Norman. Thanks for all that efforts. I know you're finishing this year, but what an amazing guy, and a lot of hard work. Next one is Ken Ross, for his work for the Down Syndrome South, with Rachel, his wife, and I mustn't forget Audrey, who's been a great support to Norman. None of us do anything on our own. We're always part of a team, and Ken and Rachel have done amazing work for Down Syndrome South, down around the Portsmouth and Havant areas where I used to come from. And finally to MH for long-term contribution, what he puts up on Facebook, how he has dealt with a serious brain injury. An amazing guy, amazing character, has kept that positivity going despite the real tough time. And talking about teams, Tracy and the kids have been an amazing support to MH, I know that, but I want to recognise them for what they've done and continue to do to inspire all of us to look at the positives, to look at the important things that we have got rather than what we haven't got in our lives. So thanks MH for doing that every day. A couple of sort of mentioned in dispatches. One for my old mate Mike Penning, and this is not really for his rather weird and eccentric early Christmas fetish, but rather for the weight loss. He's gone on to Slimming World in recent months. He's lost a couple of stone. He's done bloody well. He's put a little bit on over Christmas, let's be honest, but what a guy. He celebrates that, and thanks for getting stuck into that, Mike, and inspiring a few people. But someone who's taken that to another level altogether is Jabba. Now, Mark Fountain, Jabba, I remember him from old, being one of the boys, one of my junior NCOs at the time. But what a great guy! And what Jabba's done is lost about 5 or 6 stone. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but he's lost an incredible amount of weight. So Jabba, well done you, mate. Fantastic effort. And what's been also incredibly inspiring is how he's got into his running. He's done some amazing runs, and he's now knocking in these 5k park runs. Brilliant enterprise, the park runs, and I've done a few myself, but running those at an under 7-minute mile pace, which is better than me, and I'm a bit gutted about that. I ran a sort of 5k on New Year's Eve on a treadmill at about 8:15 per mile, so under 25 minutes, but still not as good as Jabba. So well done, mate. Keep that going. You're doing brilliantly. for being absolutely potty, really, and for taking on an extreme event is Gordon Freddie Fredericks. What a nutter. He took on the toughest mudder in the world's toughest mudder in the States, 24 hours of murder, and he did it with a smile on his face, and what an effort. Good man. I want to say something a little bit different now about someone who really cares in her job, an HR professional. She might be surprised about me saying this, but I ran a workshop with her and her team under the brilliant leadership of Kirsty Donnelly recently, and the effort that Susan Noon has put in and the care that she's demonstrated towards her people in a tough period of change where redundancies have occurred and she's had to give some bad news to a lot of people, but done it with such care, such professionalism, and it really affected her, and I just want to recognise that, because not every HR professional shows such commitment that this lady has. And finally, and this is my Facebook Personality of the Year, is Peggers, Paul Pegram, who took on Land's End to John O'Groats. He did it on his own. It is the heaviest bike known to man, a racing bike. He's put all these panniers on and he's navigated himself, and he's cycled through tough terrain in tough weather conditions, singly determined and focused to actually get this event done. Nearly 1,000 miles, just under 1,000 miles over about 14-15 days. But amazing effort. And he did it for an awesome cause as well, for the Brain Tumour Charity, because of the connection with a friend, a regimental friend, a service friend. So good on you, Peggers. Well done, mate. And recognition to everyone this year for the great work that people have done to sort of make our lives and society a better place. So thanks very much for that. And I'm putting myself out there again, strangely, this year, and for 2019, I think a good friend of mine in the States put a note out saying that actually what we should perhaps focus on, rather than specific goals, but a direction to get better in certain things this year, maybe to be more positive, to look at the things we've got rather than things we haven't got, so the appreciative inquiry, perhaps to be more present with our family and our friends, to turn the phone off, put it away for a little while. I'm guilty of it myself, but being truly present with people, to be healthier, to be fitter, to be stronger. These are sort of directions that we can take this year, and then we can maybe set ourselves some specific goals alongside that. And I'm going to be putting Make It Yours out there regularly. People may have seen my post yesterday, my blog, on setting goals, and a little contradiction there, but setting goals and breaking them down into bite-sized chunks with a general focus on a direction of where you want to be, what you want to think about yourselves this time next year. Get that 2020 vision and look back and say, what have I achieved? What have I overcome? And let's just do that, because 2019 could be a very, very special year. Let's make it so. Happy New Year. All the very best. Signing off now. Cheers. Make it yours.